Gusto ko sanang mag-video doon sa labas ng dorm para may makita naman kayong ibang view pero tinamad akong lumabas eh. Kasi feeling ko ang init-init na. Kaya pagtyagaan nyo na lang muna na dito ulit tayo sa kwarto ko mag-video. Wala naman dito yung roommate ko. Bibigay ako ng next step na gagawin nyo pag nakakuha na kayo ng confirmation of admission from the university here in Austria. So, kunyari, nakatanggap na kayo ng letter, ng email from them that they will accept you because you already submitted your documents to Austria. And then, oh my, I have to talk in English because I have some other viewers that are not Filipinos. Okay, rewind. After you get an confirmation of admission from the Austrian university that they will accept you for the degree program, then the next thing that you will do is to process your residence permit here in Austria. The residence permit is here in Austria. It's your residency. It's your student residence permit here in Austria. And if you get that and you have that kind of residence permit when you arrive here in Austria, then they will, the immigration office, I think, they will give you a student card, a student residence permit card, and that's gonna be your ID here in Austria, like your residence card. Yeah, so stuff like that. Then, yeah, the next step, you're going to apply for the student residence permit here in Austria, and what do you call this? The list of the requirements for that you can find it in the OEAD website. I'm going to share the link. So just open that website, and then you will find all of the requirements for securing student residence permit. Yes, and in the Philippines, because I'm in the Philippines, so I don't know with the other nationalities, but yeah, OEAD has the same requirements all over the world, so it's also the same. But I'm talking to how a secure documents in the Philippines. So this information is for the Filipinos. So um if you go to the OEAD website, you can see that there are a lot of requirements asked. So now I'm opening my laptop to guide me better with the requirements for the student residence permit. Mhm. In the OEAD website, you need to go to the checklist. Yeah, I will share how the page looks like. So in the checklist for a residence permit student, and then in there, this is for more guidance to Filipino applicants. So you need, but it's also the same with the other country because the same requirements all over the world. So first, you need to have your valid travel document, and that is your passport. It should not be less than 1 year before expiration. So those who have a passport that is about to expire, please renew it. And then passport size photograph according to the ICAO criteria. There's a guidelines in the OEAD website, so you should check the link. And then passport size, this passport size is not the same with the passport size that we used to have in the Philippines. No, because there's certain alteration in that passport size. Yes, it's still a passport size, the common passport size in the Philippines, but the I mean the picture inside, the our face in the passport size is much bigger compared to our regular passport size. So you have to check the link they provided in the OEAD website. So please check on that. Your face is gonna be bigger, and the cut of the picture is only until from the top of your shoulder. Yes, that's how it's look like. And the background should be lighter. Mine was in a white background. Just make it a white background to be safe. And then the next that you need to secure is your show money or proof of funds. For the proof of sufficient financial means or show money, students as under 24 years old, they have to show 613.16 euros per month. I don't know how much. My calculator with me. So 613.16 times 60. 1 euro is 60 pesos mostly. So you have to show baht in 1 year. 1 year living cost. So you have to show, if you're a student under 24 years old, you have to show a fund of 441. Oh, let's round it off. So you have to show 442,000 pesos, or make it 450,000 pesos. That's gonna be your show money if your age is 24 years old below. If applying for a student in the Philippines, this I'm talking about Philippine currency. So with other applicants, check their website on how much does it cost in your currency. So for the students older than 24 years old, you have to show 1,110.26. You have to show, because the proof of funds should be 1 year worth of living expenses here in Austria. That's gonna be your show money. So 24 years old and older, you have to show, oh my gosh, 800,000 pesos. Mine before, when I was still applying, I showed 700,000 last year, and now it increased a lot. You have to show 800,000 pesos for the show money. And for those who are, I think I already have some viewers for those who applied in Australia. You know what I'm saying, that this, or Australia or Canada, that this 800,000 is much cheaper compared to the show money that you have to provide in Australia or Canada. I know. So yeah, if you're going here in Austria, you have to show 800,000 pesos in your bank account. And for couples, they have this, for couples, I'm converting it already to Philippine currency. Uh-huh. So it should be 1,261,000. So maybe around 1,200,000 or 270,000 pesos. 1,270,000 pesos. That's gonna be your show money if you are applying as a couple. I have no idea with this couple thing because I haven't tried. So you should, yeah, have more research, but it's gonna be your show money if you're applying as a couple. And you have to show the funds that is 6 months in your bank account. But actually, I'm gonna tell you, maybe I'll make another video for this one, because in my account the money just stayed for 1 week, and that's the certificate that I submitted it to the embassy for my student residence permit application. The money didn't stay in my account for 6 months, but on the proper showing of proof of funds, the money should stay in your account for more than 6 months, and you have to show where the money came from, like who provided that money for you, either with your salary, um, gift from parents, or from sponsor. You have to submit more documents, and that, yeah, there are more, what do you call this, there are more explanation on how to provide the origin of the funds, how, because you have to explain it where the money came from. There, you should check the OEAD website with their checklist for the students residence permit application. So let's summarize it up. You need a passport size photograph, show money, NBI, because it's written in the OEAD website that you need a police clearance. But in the Philippines, we need an NBI because police clearance is just like a local certificate from our municipality. I asked this from the Austrian embassy, and they told me that what I need to provide is the NBI clearance. And the NBI clearance, of course, you need to apostille it from the DFA before you submit. And also, you also need to legalize the NBI clearance. You remember that your school documents must be legalized right before submitting it to the Austrian embassy. And also, the NBI should also be legalized. And then for first time application, most of the students are first time applicants. So you also need to provide a copy of your birth certificate. Birth certificate should be apostilled and legalized also. Let's go back with the NBI. NBI should not be older than 3 months before submitting it to the Austrian embassy. So the last thing that you are going to get from uh, the last thing that you are going to be to apostille is your NBI clearance, because you don't know how long will the university give you admission, because I heard that others took them around 2, 3, or 4 months, or even 6 months to get an admission letter from the university. So for you to not waste your money in getting NBI clearance and your effort, don't get an NBI clearance yet. Don't legalize it yet. Just wait for the admission letter, and that's the time you're going to get a new fresh NBI clearance, and also your birth certificate. It's NSO PSA copy. PSA, yeah, PSA copy. You also need to apostille it. Let's summarize it again. Valid travel document or your passport size photograph, show money, show money. Then for the show money, you also have to provide an proof where that money come from, or the origin of the funds. You also provide a document for that. And then NBI or police clearance. With the other country, it's gonna be police clearance, but in the Philippines, it's called NBI. And then not older than 3 months, and then birth certificate. That's and also you also need to. I think I did not submit my. Yeah, I think you also have to submit a photocopy of your admission letter. Mhm. Don't ever submit an original copy of admission letter. No, 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 because you need that original copy of the admission letter when you arrive here in Austria, because the university will look for that letter. So all you have to submit is just a photocopy, because the immigration here in Austria will verify it anyway with the university if you really got an admission. So it doesn't matter if you only submit a photocopy. And I think that's all that you need to secure for the residence permit application. And for the proof of funds, it's gonna be a very long discussion. So I'm going to make a new video for that. So far, that's also. If you gather all those documents already that I mentioned, then you are going to go to the Austrian embassy either in Cebu or in Makati. You are going to submit the documents, and there's certain fee. I base on my I can't remember the exact amount. Um, yeah, I really can't remember, but in Philippine currency, you will spend around more or less 9,000 pesos for the residence permit application. And because that documents will be sent to here in Austria. The Austrian embassy in the Philippines will send the documents here in Austria, and you have to wait for an approval, because that student residence permit can be rejected or accepted. So yes, so of course, if it will be rejected, your application is rejected, and you cannot go here in Austria. You cannot pursue your study. So you have to wait for the approval. It's the most crucial stage, because it's where that your future will be decided if you get an approval or rejection. And of course, if you for me, it took me around 1 month, exactly 1 month, that I got an approval from the Austrian embassy that my student residence permit was approved. The Austrian embassy will just email you the PDF file, and it stated that your student residence permit was approved here in Austria. And also, for other countries, it may take longer because I've heard a lot of students, um, the the application for the student residence permit took 2 months, 2 to 6 months. Other really took a longer time for them to get their approval for their student residence permit. So you really have to wait. And for me, I think if 1 month has passed and you still didn't get any response from the Austrian embassy or either in the magistrate about the update of your student residence permit application, then maybe it's fine to email the magistrate in the city, because in every city there is a certain magistrate that will process all the documents, all the applications. So you can email them. Where to find your email? It is in the OEAD website also. Yeah, it's look it look it up. It's in there's a link for that. Just find it in the OEAD website. The list of the emails of all the magistrates here in Austria are there, so you can just email them and ask an update about your application for the student residence permit. So of course, after you get an approval that your about your student residence permit, then that's the time you are going to apply for a visa. An Austrian embassy will also guide you on how to apply for a visa. They will email you about that and the things that you need to secure. And in the visa, yeah, there are not much things to do. The simple documents you can provide it right away. And also you need money for the application of visa. um Mine was, I really can't remember the exact amount, around not more than 9,000 pesos for the visa application. Of course, in the visa application, you already need to have a plane ticket, either in what's that they're calling, dummy ticket or flight reservation. Yes, flight reservation. Need to have a flight reservation, a ticket of going here, and then an insurance, a local insurance here in Austria, and also an insurance, travel insurance. I mean, travel insurance and a local insurance here in Austria. You need to have that. I think it's only the travel insurance that is needed for the visa application, because your local insurance was already in your, what do you call this, in your, oh yeah, I forgot. S- oh, the checklist that I told you, local insurance is also included. I hope I cleared those questions out there on what's really the process, because I applied it on my own. I don't have any agency to help me. I made it on my own. So that's all the things that I did. So yeah, you can message me or comment down below for any questions about studying here in Austria. Choose.